Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Morning Motivation, your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm thrilled to have you join us this morning as we kickstart our day with positivity and purpose. So whether you're here to seek motivation, connect with like-minded individuals, or simply start your day on the right foot, you've come to the right place. And since you're here, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know that you're here. Don't be afraid to participate in the chat. We're one big happy family, and we are glad to have you join us anytime you feel comfortable to. I promise you, this is a safe space. And yes, it's Monday, y'all. And depending on what you did over the weekend, that could be an amazing thing, an exciting thing, or one of those. Oh yeah, bruh. It's a lot happening. A lot happening. So, on to the next. On to the next. And I don't necessarily mean on to the next topic, although we are slowly transitioning on to the next piece. But we're gonna kind of put the car in neutral this week because I really want to imprint the last 2 weeks actually. The last 2 weeks. Because sometimes we go through topics and we probably should stay on a topic until we beat it to death. Honestly, we probably should. But my patience for doing that isn't always good. Sometimes listening, people will be like, bro, you done talked about this already. Talk about something else. Oh, man, I tell you. Shout out to that chick, yo. Number one in the building. Also, low-key show producer. D-Rock, bro, we missed you on Friday, man. We did, bro. Salute to you, my guy. We did miss you on Friday. I know there's a lot happening. I know there's a lot of things moving, a lot of moving pieces, and that's good. We're in the season of transition. We really are. I had my youngest son, Jordan, graduate high school. He's about to get his driver's license, heading off to college in the fall. My niece and my nephew graduated also this weekend, and we had a birthday celebration for them. And that's just a small part of my journey right now. There's other transitionings happening. And some of them are good transitions, some of them are trying, and some of them are problematic. But on to the next. It kind of is what we say. So put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you struggle with transitions. Put a 2 in the chat if you move on too quick. So a 1 if you struggle during the transition, and a 2 if you tend to move on too quick. Well, you don't think it's too quick in the moment, but in hindsight, you realize I probably could have waited a little bit longer. What camp are you in? Toronto Rig is in the building. What's good, sis? Brick by brick. It's that Grand Risings King. Craig G. Hey, bruh. Trust me. I know. What up, boo? That chick yo says both. And I think both might honestly be the worst answer. Think about it for a second. If you struggle, that depending on what it is, yeah. You see, the problem is habits, right? We talk about habits quite often. And we talk about how some habits can have us on autopilot. And then we have to literally put in conscious effort to break the habit, to change the habit. And then we have to have discipline to be consistent enough to create the new habit. So if you have a habit on pulling the trigger quick on decisions, well, you tend to stay in that vein, which means if you make decisions just like this, rapid fire, then you're going to be in a space where you're going to cut relationships off quicker. You're going to leave jobs quicker or transition jobs quicker. You're going to make decisions around other people quicker. But if you drag your feet and you want to get all the evidence and you need to get every single piece of detail, then you're going to, by habit, make decisions slower, transition slower. And I think the older you are, I would say it gets easier to make decisions. And I've always been a person that made decisions very quickly. And to this day, I still am. The problem is now for me personally, as I'm getting older, I have so much more life experience. I have so many more things to consider because I got stuff to lose now. When I was 18, 19, 20, just like this, steady. On to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. But now I'm getting older, bro. I ain't got that much time to waste. I ain't got time to be making a bunch of decisions anymore. So I'm finding myself making decisions slower. And it's been honestly somewhat of a welcome change, but it takes so much longer. So much longer. And I got you, yo. Eyes are getting to it. Eyes are getting to it. Eyes are getting to it. I appreciate it. I think she be testing my emoji reading skills sometimes. Oh, there you go. And I need to do one thing real quick. And that is, I literally got up, hopped in the shower. I got a smoke alarm going off in my house that's driving me completely crazy. I mean, completely crazy. The doggone thing won't, it just beep. And it's like they're connected on a network. And if one beat, the other one, it's just like they don't want to act right. They just don't want to act right. I don't know what the problem is. Yep, and I can't pin it. And so for those of you who are thinking about doing YouTube, if you ever pop out your chat box, what it does is it doesn't allow you to have the same functions that you initially had. So I can't pin it. So it's in there. Anybody want to donate coffee to your boy? It's in the chat. It ain't pinned to the top this time, but it's in the chat. All right, so I need to go run and grab a cup of coffee real quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give y'all a flashback from the past. Just a little island vibe. I'll be right back, y'all. Promise to take about 30 seconds. Oh man, okay, I'm back. See, told you I wouldn't take too long. How many of y'all remember the gratitude we used to do in the morning and the affirmations? Wow. Yep. I still do them quite often. Sometimes I don't do it as like as frequent. It's not like my habit. I get up every morning and I meditate. I don't do that per se, right? At least in this season in my life. However, when I catch myself going through times when there's a lot happening, and there may be a little space in my heart where I'm struggling with something, some decisions, I'm being challenged by a career path or a couple of choices that I've made. Before I can get myself out of that space, I have to do gratitudes. I have to do gratitudes. It's really the only thing that clears the negative energy from me. And then I go into affirmations. That's set in stone. That's just set in stone. But that's been the thing that's really helped me through the years, through the hard times. So I'm grateful. So yeah, going into transitions, on to the next. There's a lot of times in, I'm sure your life too, but I'm gonna focus on me right now. In my life where I've gotten to the end of my rope. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I know I have to make a decision. I can't stay in this space much longer because it might break me if I stay there too long. I'm unhappy. I'm not content. And I feel like I'm supposed to be doing so much more, so many different things. I should be in a different space. My bank account should look differently. My family situation should look different. My relationship should look different. But I've gotten so used to where I am, it feels like home. It literally feels like home. Oh man, D-Rob about to test me right now because I know y'all know I want to sing it. Although we've come to the end of the road, still I can't let go. It's unnatural. Oh man. But that's what it is, man. You know you've come to the end of the road. You know you've gone this far on this journey, in this space, this job, this relationship. You know you've gone you know you've gone as far as it can take you. But put a 1 in the chat if you wake up 2 years later and you're still there. You know you should have left that job 2 years ago. You know that relationship didn't serve you 6 months ago. You knew it was a dead end path a year ago, yet you're still on there. You knew being isolated off to yourself wasn't the healthiest thing for you. You know you needed to be in circle, in community. But yet, you still over there, lone sniper, doing it the hard way, by yourself. Because guess what? I can trust me. I can trust me. Can anybody tell me what the problem with transition is? I'm talking about life transitions. I'm talking about life transitions. Can anybody tell me what the problem is with transitions? The reason we do drag our feet from time to time. Because I know sometimes it's easy to say on to the next. However, generally, that comes after we've been there too long. That chick yo says, been there, D-Rob says, I used to wake up every day like I'm stuck. Now that I got this Florida job, I wake up feeling anxious. Yes, that's that transition, bro. That's that transition. The unknown. Yep. Yep. And most often, that chick y'all hit it. It really is the unknown. And D-Rob said, my coaching dream is in effect, and I don't know how to process it. And therein lies the problem. Pain. Transitions can be painful. Transitions can be painful. And it's our brain's job to keep us normal, stable, without event. It's our brain's job to keep us at an optimum level. No high blood pressure, no elevated heart rates. We have to force ourselves to go work out, right? Yeah, exactly. Or sometimes it's just our habit, and so we just naturally do it. But it's our brain's job to keep us comfortable, to keep us calm and happy, to keep us operating at an optimum level. And transitions are tough because it makes us anxious. It changes our pattern of doing things. We have to learn new things, and it makes the brain or the subconscious, it throws us out of whack because there's a whole new skill set we got to learn. There may be some financial implications in the transition. D-Rob says, but I just had a cousin tell me, oh, you big time now. You can't talk to your cousin? Well, they haven't talked to me in forever. Shout out to family, bruh. Shout out to family. You gotta love it, bruh. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But family transition. When you break out of the norm for your family, those closest to you, when you go into a new space that's in accordance with your dream, sometimes people feel away. Sometimes they feel away. And it just adds more pressure, more stress. Because family is family, man. At the end of the day, family is where we fall back to. It's our center. It ain't always the safe space, but it's supposed to be the safe space. The one place you can go in the world where nobody expects you to be nothing but who you are. You ain't got to put on for your family because your family know you. They raised you. You are a culmination of them in many cases. So they know who you are. You ain't got to fake it with family. You ain't got to pretend that you like a person when you really don't. If you know you don't mess with your cousin, bro, you know we don't even mess with each other, but we family, so I got you. But I don't like what you doing. That's family. That chick yell say, love him from a distance. Hey, man, keep shining. Because your light illuminates everything around it, which is why people get upset. But if you keep shining, you keep building your dreams, guess what? You might make it possible for some of them to say, man, if D-Rob could do it. I remember I used to be better at football than him. I remember I was a better singer than he was. I could talk better than he. And if he can do it, let me lean on my natural gift and let's see if I can do it too. Now, that's the optimist in me. That's the optimist in me. We know that ain't always a real thing. We know sometimes they'll sit there and they'll just hate from the sidelines. And that's cool too. You can still show them how it should be done. Because your success shines a light on people that could have a very similar success or being at least in line with what you've been going through, what you've been doing. Because we all got our own journey. So let's look at this for an example. I'm gonna look at D-Rob's story. D-Rob he's in the South. You know what? I don't even know if you consider Florida in the South. Florida is like its own thing. It's such an international state. There's certain parts of Florida that's really southern, and then there's others that cultures are so different that it's hard to consider the whole state as being a southern city. But Texas, that's the South, right? Texas will be considered the deep South, the deep South. And he has a job, he has family, he has friends, and now he's decided to chase his dream. And that invites a change in geography, a potential change in friendships and acquaintances, new love interests, new career pressures, new tasks to learn. D-Rod's about to go into a season of change. And because, as that chick Yo said, the unknown, it creates anxiety. It creates anxiousness. So D-Rod, my guy, my suggestion for in your case is I would go back to your gratitudes. I would go back to your affirmations. And I would really start declaring before you even step foot on campus. I will start appreciating the journey thus far. I will form a heavy sense of gratitude. And then I would get some principles for work ethic, some habits. Figure out how they train, or at least when you get there, understand how they train, what they do, what the expectations are, and just go into your corner, go into your closet, your meditation room, and get those things in your head. Create affirmations based upon the goals that's set there. Create affirmations around the expectations that's for their job. Align your affirmations with the career path you're on now, because it's shifted from when we were doing it, 6 months ago. Wow, it's just been 6 months. It's just been 6 months, y'all. And we got so much growth, so much movement in this community. I'm proud of you guys. So the cat heifer spray is in full effect. And you gonna need that spray out in Florida, bro. It's an international city, bro. It's gonna be all shades of the rainbow out there. All shades. But create those affirmations, man, based off of the job expectations. Go out there, form some good habits. Get around the people that's succeeding at a high level and learn. That's it. And take it day by day. As my guy, his name is Brick by Brick, right? Brick by brick, you building this thing, bro. Brick by brick, you building it. Now, my son Jordan, he's in a transition space. And I've already had to give him the warning. And it went something like this. I said, hey man, let me talk to you. Let me bend your ear for a second, young blood. That's kind of talk that somebody gave me. Let me bend your ear for a second, young blood. But for Jordan, I was like, hey bro, come here, let me talk to you. I said, you grown now. You ain't got nowhere to be during the day. You technically, you're not a high school student anymore. His only saving grace is he don't turn 18 until July. So technically he isn't grown, but he grown. Ooh, Toronto Ricky said, D, you need a new spray for family. That will have their hands out. Yeah, when you big time, bro, you can make it rain on the family a little bit. When you big time, that's what big timers do. That's what big timers do. But yeah, so I sat him down and I said, hey man, I said, you know what? I said, for all intents and purposes, you are grown. You're an adult. Now, the law is going to see you as grown. Even though you're not 18 yet, you're done with high school, and you're in this weird space. because you got all summer, you don't have a job, you don't have a car, but you have friends that have cars, and this is called the trap summer. It's the summer before you get ready to go do whatever you want to do. You free, you young, you got energy. You know, because of graduations and birthdays, you got a little extra money in your pocket, even though you ain't working. It's like it's an amazing time period to be in. But that's where all the dangers come in. This is when you need that cat heifer spray, because there's gonna be a whole lot of young ladies out there who are gonna be like, "Hey Jordan, remember me? Hey Jordan." D. Rob said, the crazy thing is, I'll send tickets to the folks and they still won't show up. Oh man, D. Rob said, I'm trying to bring them, but they won't even show up. That's your gift. Said, tell them keep that same energy. Oh, for sure, bro. Definitely drop the schedule. So if you send tickets, we're showing up, bro. Oh man, but yeah, for sure. I do want the details. I do want the details for sure. But anyway, so it's a trap summer, and so I've already given him the warnings. I was talking to my nephew yesterday. I thought we left his graduation party. I gave him some things that I experienced and told him be looking out for this and watch out for this, because y'all know everybody ain't trying to go off and be successful in life. Yes, sir. Jordan will definitely need that complimentary spray. Jordan is a smooth he's a smooth young fella. He's a smooth fella. He might be a little smoother than me when I was that age. Nah, who am I kidding? Nah. But he's definitely more well balanced than I was, though. He has a little anger, but not nearly the anger that I had. So he's definitely off to a little bit better start. His mindset is definitely stronger as far as the family or orientated piece. Also, he understands the traps, because I've been sharing my story with my kids my whole life, so they know. And if they walk in some of the same traps I walked into, then they don't even be mad. They be like, "Pop, you told me, bro, but I ain't even believe it, but I believe it now." I didn't tell you for you to go find out on your own, bro. I told you so you can avoid it. So yeah, he's in a transition season. He's in a trap summer, because he's gonna run into the guys who have no intention on going anywhere, doing anything, and they're just living for the summers. The girls who ain't trying to do nothing, ain't trying to go nowhere, and they trying to figure out how to get out their mama house. So unfortunately, if I have a baby, I can get some Section 8 housing, I can get some food stamps. Unfortunately, that is a mentality. So I'm warning him about the traps in his transition. But let's shift gears for a second. We talked about D-Rob's transition slightly. And we went down to another spectrum, which is Jordan's transition, my nephew's transition. But for a few minutes, I want to touch on us adults, us 40-plus-year-old people who have been around as an adult for at least 20 years. And we've had 10 years in our 20s to kind of make a few mistakes, to kind of figure it out somewhat. And then we had another 30 years to try to get on the path and make, not inroads, but try to make a dent into this image that we have in our head. Because in our 20s, we figuring it out. We know what we like, but it's some of us go to school, get degrees, and realize I'm not getting paid all the money I spent for this degree, and I'm not seeing the returns on my investment. And it's frustrating that now I'm 30, so now I wasted 10 years. So now I'm 30, and now I have to D-Rob said, none of y'all in y'all 40s. I know you talking to them, D-Rock. I think everybody know I'm well over 40. Yes, D-Rob. You are. Why you think I call you the young gun, bro? You are the youngest in the building. Now I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but it's one person that's really close to you. I will say it's a she, for obvious reasons. She is probably 32, and then I think the next closest to you might be 38. But everybody else, I believe, just in the room right now, uh, everybody else in the room right now is probably between 38 and 42. On honest, all honesty, everybody in the room right now is probably between 38 and 46. That's the average age in this room. That's the age demographic. He said, nah, JJ, you look my age, dog. Bruh, I appreciate it, but you don't see all these gray hairs? It ain't lint in my head, bruh. They're right there. Bruh, I'm about to be a half a century in this piece. I feel like I'm your age, though. I'll be honest. Until I get around somebody or get around your age group, then I realize, nah. I'm not there no more. See, I'm trying not to put no names out there. Look at you. I'm maintaining. Not 32 until September, man. Damn, I'm a 94 baby. So y'all was living the great life there. Bruh. The year you was born, bruh, I became a senior in high school. Oh, I was living my best life. I was living my best life. No, it's on topic, bro. As you can tell, today's show is not a structured show. On purpose. On purpose. Because transition, it's a very real thing. We all have to go through it. Whether it's the transition from being a fetus to a babe, or to from a newborn to a toddler, from a toddler to a preschool age to middle school age to high school age to an adult. Those are all transitions, and things happen during that transition. We've been talking about bitterness and how people's unmet expectations or feelings of injustice have caused them to be bitter. They got bitter because they got stuck. They refused to transition to the next space of healing, from hurt to healing, from putting in the hard work, setting, planning, executing to achieving success. That's a transition. Getting to the top of the mountaintop and now having to go back down to catch the next mountain to go up. It's all transitions. What up, Kay? It is all transitions. And how you handle a transition and just saying on to the next isn't always a good thing, depending on how you move in it. Because sometimes we do cut off our nose, as they say, to spite our face. We take an unnecessary L when we could have transitioned a lot smoother. But we got in our feelings, or the situation called for a fast exit. You know, I'm personally in a space right now where I know I have to make a really sharp transition. I know I have to let go of something that I'm holding on to so I can reach out to what I want. But the reason I don't do it, actually the reason I don't do it, the reason I haven't done it yet is a couple of reasons. Fear is really not one of those reasons for me. Because as I said, as I've gotten older, I got stuff to lose now. I have a household that's depending on me to be the person I've always been. And normally, when I've made my biggest transitions, it was just me. I had other people to worry about. However, my decision wasn't going to impact them long term or as hard it was going to impact me if I failed. If it didn't go as fast as I thought it would go. If it didn't work out the way I thought it would work out, it would largely only impact me. But now I got some transitions to make that's going to affect a lot of people. And it is nerve-wracking some days because I feel like I'm fighting for my life in one space, and I'm excited to see this other space, but there's this gray area in the middle. Transition. What does it look like? How do I do it without knocking down the whole house of cards? And so this will not be my story, but this is the point where so many people don't move. They stay where they are, they stay stuck, and they say, well, I'll revisit it later. Or I'll circle back around to it later. Y'all know what happens next, right? Later never comes. And now my cousin D-Rob, he over there taking jobs, moving, changing locations. Oh, he big time. Don't forget about us small people. Now I'm starting to get a little bitter. Now I'm starting to get a little resentment building because my man 50 grand is living his dream. He's made the decision. He's going through the hard stuff. He's enduring what he has to endure to make his dream a reality, but I didn't. I said I'd come back later, but I never did. And so now I got a little hate developing in my heart. Not for him, for me. But because I have the inability to self-assess, I'm going to give him all that smoke. I'm going to give D-Rob all the energy because I couldn't look at myself and say, I let me down. I let me down. And the inability to self-assess is probably the number one reason most people get stuck. When you can't take accountability for where you are, it's hard to generate the energy. It's hard to generate the knowledge, the experience, or even get the support to get to your next level. It's just like you can't be successful if you never fail. If you never have to deal with an injury, if you're an athlete, if you never had to deal with an injury, if you never have to deal with overcoming a tough opponent, if you never had to deal with getting out of your own way mentally so you can be prepared for the day, if you're not willing to get out of your feelings and put your feelings to the side for the bigger goal, which is winning, which is the team, you're probably not going to experience success. So it's not until you learn how to fail, that's what's going to give you the tools needed to know how to win. And then once you win, know how to handle it. D-Rob says, thing about me, I've been struggling, been low, but I've been grinding to get here. So who been there for me? I'm there for them when I don't make it big. I said, when I do make it big, I got those who went through the storm with me. And I mean, and that's how it is, bro. That's how it is. There's a transition that we all must go through. But how many times do we talk about the transition? How many times do we recognize the transition as a phase of the game? In sports, we do. You know why? Because there's a coach that says right out of the half, They like to run this play. In sports, we're prepared for the transition. In successful businesses, companies, they bring in training staff to train their people on this transition. This is what it's going to look like. This is where we need to be. This is what we need to do. These are the resources we're going to need to make this a successful transition. But in our personal lives, we get in our feelings a lot. And we act irrationally sometimes. You know why? Because we're the CEOs of us. We are the CEOs of us. And so we heap too much on our shoulders. We don't apply discipline. We have bad habits. It could be a number of things. But then life happens to us and we're not prepared for the transition. We're not really prepared for the transition. And then whatever happens, happens. Either we stop and we stay where we are, we go forward, we take a big L. And this is why leadership is so important. Because leaders understand that in order to get from point A to point B, there's some things that has to happen in the middle. How do we get those things? If we know we're taking a 16-hour road trip, what cities give us the biggest problems? What's the best time of day to leave? How far can we drive before we need to refill? How much money will I need for tolls? Am I packing snacks or am I stopping a lot? If I'm taking a baby, if I'm taking a toddler, if I'm taking teenagers, what do I need to have in the car to make this trip not miserable, to make it a good trip? That's all leadership. It's understanding all those things I just said happen going from A to B. But we start doing on to the next so much that we fail to plan because we know if it don't work out, I'll just go do this. If it don't work out, I'll just do this. If I see one too many red flags, I'm going to be this. I'm going to do this. I ain't dealing with that. And then somehow or another, we forget that life is hard and we think it should be easier at some point. And because it's not easy, and because we fail to plan through the transition, we get stuck. And then we become Sour Patch Kids. And then we become Uncle Ruckus. No relation. Toronto Rican says, if you ride with me, we're packing snacks. Go to the bathroom before we leave. I'm not stopping. Because the mission is to get there, right? We're not taking a road trip just to see the sights. We're trying to get somewhere. That's leadership. And anybody who rides in that car with you, this is how they do it. On to the next. I've done the on to the next thing so many times in my life, in relationships. But it was when I knew it wasn't right. When I get to the 6 month mark, 7 month mark, and I've seen the representative and now I'm starting to see who this person really is. Okay, well, time to go. I don't know, D-Rock. Let me Google that real quick. And matter of fact, D-Rob, when are you is there have you got like marching orders a month that you're supposed to be leaving going that way? Have you hit the have they I don't know if they do if they assist with your moving costs but you're young though. You're single. You probably ain't got a whole lot of household goods or not. I mean, I'll pack a bag and I'll yard sale or swap all my stuff in my little crib and I go get some new stuff. Oh, okay. July. Got you. Man, it's coming up fast. From me, bro, it's probably like 500 miles, give or take. Yeah, it's about 500 miles. So yeah, we're looking at about an 8 hour, about a 9 hour road trip if you figure in gas and all the other stuff, gas stops and stuff. So yeah, about a 9 hour drive. It's not crazy. Man, I was trying to drive to Texas. That would be crazy. Yeah, so yo got it right. Yeah, about 8 9 hours. That's not too far. Yep, not too far at all. I am. I just had a big brain fart for a second. I got caught up in three different thoughts. What I got to do after. I was thinking about road trip, and I was thinking about my my launch. So I got caught in a little bit of a thing for a second there. But yeah, so that's life, man. We all go through the transitional pieces in life, and sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we get stuck, and we try to figure out how to get out. How did we get caught up in this space? So one of the things that I'm actually actively doing right now is I'm taking some management courses, some leadership courses. Not because I don't know how to manage or I don't know how to lead, but I need the refresher. What you don't use, you tend to lose. You know how when you try to learn a foreign language, and when you're going through the class or when you're in the group, it's coming to you. Your new brain patterns are forming, and you're understanding it better. And then you leave the class, and then 3 months later, you can't put two conjugations together. And then you just now you're good with sight words. You see a word or you hear a word, you see it, you can figure out what it means. If you hear it, it takes you a second. What was that? What was that? What was that? Okay. Oh, I got it. But the conversation, you done missed the whole conversation by now. So it's like I need to refresh those skills because the spaces that I'm about to go into, I'm going to need those skills. I'm going to have to put all those pieces together in order for me to effectively and efficiently be the person that I'm supposed to be in that next level. Which is what I'm saying for you, D Rob. When you get there, bro, lock in, be as happy and as friendly and as smiley as you can be. Work hard, meet the expectation that that position has, and just be a good person. People like who they like. They do business with who they like. They hang around people they like. And it's just a stepping stone. You're not gonna be there forever. You there to get the information. You there to get your foot in the door. So go be excellent. Go be excellent. Wherever it takes, go be excellent. You're not there to make friends, but you're gonna make some. And just make sure your people that you select to be friends are those who are on a very similar mission and they got the utmost respect for you. Because the rest of that come over time. The rest of that comes over time. And so I'm about to make a transition. Oh, that's what's up. So I'll be staying with my uncle for a couple months. Glad he has a home gym. I don't need it for peace. Oh, no doubt. That's what I'm talking about. See, family, bruh. I'm telling you, bruh. That's good. You got somebody out there already. You got some peoples out there. That's good, man. You can get grounded, get situated. You ain't got to be stressing and struggling. That's a good look. And those are some of the things in life you can't really account for. You can't be afraid to take a step just because you can't see the next one. Odds are there is another step there, but in order to see it, you got to step on it. That's pretty much it, man. That's life. That is life. That is life. So I think that's gonna about do it for today, guys. As y'all can see, I'm kind of fading out here because my weekend was very. I did some self care this weekend. I didn't come out of my office but about 4 times on Saturday. I basically locked myself in my office. My wife came up and laid on the floor with me because I'm just thinking I didn't do any work. I should have done a bunch of work, but I didn't. I just took a mental health day. I relaxed. I didn't do anything. Literally didn't do anything. I put a Netflix show on. I laid on the floor. I went from the floor to my chair. I looked up stuff. I put posters on my wall so I can write on because I'm got a lot of planning that I need to do. And I just been in thought. And Sunday was pretty much more of the same, except I did go to my nephew's graduation party, my niece's graduation party. And then I came back and me and wife, we sat on the couch and we watched one of our favorite shows. I didn't do any work this weekend, which is highly unusual for me. But that's how I know when I'm going through transition. When I get to a space where I don't want to work and I'm thinking a lot, I know it's time to make a move. And I'm looking for the pieces that I'm going to need to get through the gaps, to get through whether it's going to be maybe a little bit of a financial hit up front, whether it's going to be a relationship hit up front, whether it's going to be just a mental taxing or a physical taxing up front. Because I've been through transitions where I transitioned and I went from working 6 hours a day to working 12 hours a day. D-Rob says, church yesterday. He said something like, one day the digging will pay off. Some people stop before they get to the goal because there are rocks and other things in the way make you want to quit. Yeah, that's how it is. There's this book called Acres of Diamonds. And I think I've talked about this story, months ago. But there's also another story. I forgot what book I got this one out of. But it was like doing the gold rush. Yes. It was like doing the gold rush. This guy, he bought a plot of land and he was out there digging and digging and digging. And he's digging for 8, 9 months and he's hit nothing. Nothing. And then the people next to him, everybody was hitting. They was finding veins of gold. And he was just digging and digging. Nothing. So he decided, you know what? I'm selling. I'm going to sell this plot of land because I invested so much to get here and I don't have nothing left to give. I'm content that I'm never going to find anything. So I'm going to sell this land. I'm going to go back to my home and I'm going to try to restart my life. So I forget how much he sold the land for, but it was something in enough that it paid for his passage and it gave him a couple of months to get, work going again once he got home. So not a bad place to be in, but certainly not what he invested to get there and what he hoped he would find. He thought it would change his life forever. So he sells the land to this one guy and he goes back home. The guy goes out there and he gets a little survey of the area to figure out, who's hit gold and where the veins were that they know about and, all the uncharted stuff. And so he's looking at his map. He says, okay, he's dug here already. He's dug there already. This person hit gold over here, but it's nowhere close to me. So I think I'm gonna just pick up where old dude left off. No point, you know what I'm saying? No point in trying to go dig somewhere else when this hole's already dug. So he goes over there and he takes his little pickaxe and he hits into the side of the little cavern. That's one time. Hit again. Hit again. On that third one, ding. He gets his shovel. He starts brushing it off. His man hit the biggest vein of gold in the history of the gold rush. The biggest vein of gold in the history of the gold rush. He owned that land for less than a month. He dug 3 feet. He dug 3 feet and hit the biggest vein of gold in the history of that period. Lucky guy, right? The guy who walked away was 3 feet from gold and he gave up. I think that's the name of the book, actually, 3 Feet from Gold. Now that I think about it. Yeah. 3 feet from gold. And he gave in. And somebody else came in, went those 3 feet, and their life changed forever. Life changed forever. I know a guy who plays scratch offs a lot. And he's really good at winning. But how he wins is because he lost. He failed. And he told me this. He said, so when you're doing scratch offs, it's a science to it. He probably gonna get mad if I tell y'all this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. He said, there's a science to it. He said, you don't want the end of the road. So you want to wait till they put the new tickets out, because the tickets stay out there for a week, and or at least till they sell them all. But every Tuesday they try to refresh them, at least in North Carolina. He said, what you do is you want to catch that middle space, and the tickets are sequentially ordered by serial number on the bottom of each ticket. And he said, what you do is you want to catch somewhere between them teens and them 50s. That's where all your money gonna come from. Your big money. Now you can get $1, $5, $10 on the ends, the beginning and the end of that roll, but that middle row is what you want. He said, so if you can never find a roll, especially if it's like a $1 scratch off or 5 or 10, anything above 10, the strategy don't work as well. But he says you want to take $100, just 100, no more, no less, and you want to buy every number in between 20 and like 80. Now, he's covering a large, gamut, but he consistently hits for 500, 800, 1,000, 10,000 consistently. Because he found a system that works. You know why? It's because he bought up to a certain number, he always stopped. And then he was in there one day scratching off when some guy came in and bought one ticket and hit for like $5,000. And he had just put like $500 in there trying to buy a bunch of tickets. But he stopped one short. So, wow. But anyway, transitions. On to the next. We do it often. Sometimes it needs to be, and sometimes we need to be pumping our brakes a little bit. But the biggest thing is having a plan. Understanding when to cut a loss. Understanding failure is not final. Because you learn when you fail. So fail fast. Don't be afraid of it. You have to fail before you can truly succeed. You're gonna get terminated from jobs unfairly. You're gonna have relationships end unprovoked. You're gonna lose money. But it's in the failure that you learn more about who you are. You learn how to dig deeper. To the point where you start to recognize all the patterns. And then when you say on to the next, You're doing it because you have facts, you have history, you have evidence that says this vein is dry. I'm not stopping 3 feet short, but this vein is dry. I've done all the surveys. I've done all the research. There's nothing left here. So I'm moving on. And if it is something there, it isn't for me to find, and be okay with walking away. On to the next. Because sometimes you will reap where you didn't sow. It's just a principle. Sometimes there are some things that are waiting just for you to do it. Sometimes there are. But anywho, we're going to do it again on Wednesday. Wednesday will be a little bit more topical. Today was just because I'm in this weird space and I'm watching all these people transition in their lives to the next phase. And I know that we get stuck here sometimes. So today was just a show, a reaffirming show. A show to make you say, that's what it was about. But Friday, there will not be a show. I will be on somebody's set at 7 a.m. Friday morning. And then I'm going to be doing some things on this weekend. So, yeah, Wednesday's going to be it for us. But I'm so glad to see everybody back in the building today. Hope you had a great weekend. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who could use a little morning motivation. Until next time, have an amazing day. Keep striving for greatness. And we'll definitely see you guys on, I said Wednesday, right? On Wednesday. Remember, attitude is everything. Go into this week with a positive attitude and a positive outlook. Create your own energy. Be excited. Success like speed. But it also needs energy. So get your energy up. You can't be low energy all the time. And I do struggle with that. So you see some days I'll turn it on and I'm good. Yeah. Then some days I'm just like, man, let me tell you. But it's forming those consistent habits. Being the best version of yourself. All right, guys, girls. I see you all on Wednesday. Y'all be blessed. Have a great day. Peace.